Welcome back to Pop Flashback. I'm Rick Smalls.
And I'm Tina Boucher.
And today we're looking into something pretty huge.
Huges, right?
We're talking about Shrek's historic Oscar win.
Back in 2002.
2002, that's right.
And this wasn't just any win.
Oh, definitely not.
This was for the very first Best Animated Feature Award ever.
Which means
Shrek basically,
paved the way.
Paved the way exactly for every animated film that came after it.
To even be considered for an Oscar.
Think about the animation landscape back then.
Yeah, what was it like?
Pixar was the giant.
Oh, for sure.
Coming off of the massive successes
of
Toy Story 2 and Monsters, Inc.
Monsters, Inc. was nominated that year, right?
It was, along with Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius.
So for Shrek to win over those films...
It was a statement.
Like a real statement.
It showed that DreamWorks Animation...
was a serious contender.
Right up there with Pixar.
Capable of creating films that could not only compete with...
but beat Pixar.
At its own game.
I mean, you think about those three films today.
Yeah.
They all represent such different styles of animation.
Absolutely.
Monsters, Inc. was this incredibly polished, almost photorealistic CGI.
It really was.
Jimmy Neutron had that more cartoony, exaggerated look.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Shrek, which kind of sits in between.
Yeah.
It's CGI, but it's also got this playful, almost hand-drawn feel to it.
I see what you mean.
Shrek really pushed the boundaries of what CGI could do.
So it wasn't just about
creating realistic-looking characters.
Yeah.
It was about using that technology to create something unique.
and expressive.
I think that's one of the reasons Shrek resonated so strongly with audiences.
It had heart.
It did. The characters were relatable, the humor was clever and irreverent.
It poked fun at all those classic fairy tale tropes.
Oh, yeah. And speaking of things that set Shrek apart,
Music.
the music was huge.
Using pop songs in animated films wasn't new, but Shrek just did it differently.
It felt so fresh and unexpected.
Who could have predicted Smash Mouth's All-Star?
Would become the anthem of an ogre?
But it's such a perfect fit, though.
It sits
It's
a whole movie.
That self-aware, tongue-in-cheek vibe.
And then you've got I'm a Believer during that final dance sequence.
Pure joy.
And it's not like those songs were just thrown in randomly.
No, they were carefully chosen.
To enhance the storytelling.
Exactly, to underscore the emotional beats of the film.
Like I'm a Believer, it's not just a catchy tune.
It's Shrek's transformation.
In song form.
He's finally letting go of all his cynicism and embracing this newfound love for Fiona.
And that's what made Shrek so special.
It worked on multiple levels.
It was funny, visually stunning, had a great soundtrack.
And it had a lot of heart.
It really did challenge the perception of what an animated film could be.
And to think.
It wasn't just recognized by the Oscars.
No.
Shrek was the first animated film since Peter Pan in 1953.
To compete for the Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival.
For a film that's so inherently silly and playful.
To be considered alongside those prestigious art house films.
It's a testament to Shrek's impact.
It transcended the label of animated film.
And entered the realm of true cinematic achievement.
It's amazing how much Shrek accomplished in a single film.
It revolutionized animation, pushed the boundaries of CGI, introduced a new style of humor, and it proved that animated films could be just as complex and rewarding as their live-action counterparts.
Absolutely. Shrek was a cultural phenomenon that left an undeniable mark on the animation industry and on pop culture as a whole.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
We've talked about Shrek's animation style, its humor, its music, its impact on the industry.
I think there's one big question that we haven't really addressed yet.
Yeah, and what would that be?
Was Shrek's success solely due to his humor, its catchy soundtrack, and its groundbreaking visuals, or were there deeper factors at play?
That's a really interesting question.
One that I think we'll need to delve into a bit further.
Yeah, after a quick break.
We'll be right back. Hangry.
Hangry. Totally, and we're looking at their online shop today, and it's pretty wild. Got like everything you could think of, from t-shirts and sweatshirts to candles and stickers, and they've got, all this stuff with this really fun, food-themed kind of spin on it.
Yeah.
It's interesting how they've taken, what's a pretty negative emotion and spun it to be something.
To be something good.
Yeah, like something relatable and fun. When we talk about deeper factors for Shrek's success, one thing that comes to mind is timing. Like the cultural landscape in 2002, we were just a year out from 9/11.
Right.
There's a lot of uncertainty, and I think people were craving a bit of escapism.
I see where you're going with this.
And Shrek, with its irreverent humor and that fairy tale setting, offered audiences a chance to just laugh.
And forget about their troubles.
For a couple of hours.
Yeah, it was pure fun.
And people really needed that at the time.
It wasn't just escapism, though, right?
Yeah.
Shrek also had that subversive edge.
It took those fairy tale characters we all know and love.
And turned them on their heads.
It challenged our ideas about beauty, heroism, happily ever afters.
And it did it all with a wink and a smile.
Right. It wasn't preachy or heavy-handed.
Just clever and playful.
Shrek managed to be both subversive and heartwarming.
At the same time.
It had this message of self-acceptance.
Of embracing who you are.
Even if you're a big green ogre.
And that resonated with audiences.
Of all ages.
It's something that's still relevant today.
Absolutely. Maybe even more so.
So Shrek's success wasn't just about the animation, the humor, the music.
It was about its ability to tap into something deeper.
Something that spoke to people personally.
It really was a film that had something for everyone.
Kids loved the slapstick humor.
Yeah.
The colorful characters.
Adults appreciated the satire, the social commentary.
And everyone enjoyed those catchy tunes and that heartwarming story.
It was a perfect storm of creativity, talent, and cultural relevance.
I think that's why Shrek continues to be so beloved.
Even after all these years.
It's definitely stood the test of time.
So we've talked about Shrek's impact on animation, its cultural relevance, and lasting appeal.
What about its legacy?
Ooh, good one.
How do you think Shrek has influenced the films that we see today?
That's a great question. One that deserves some thought.
Okay.
And we've seen a lot of animated films since Shrek
We have.
that have embraced that same blend of humor, heart, and pop culture references. I think Shrek's legacy goes beyond those surface-level elements.
What do you mean?
I think Shrek helped pave the way for a new era of animation.
Okay.
One where animated films aren't seen as just kids' entertainment.
But as a legitimate art form.
Capable of telling complex and nuanced stories.
So Shrek's win wasn't just a win for DreamWorks.
It was a win for animation as a whole.
It really opened doors for filmmakers to explore new genres, experiment with different styles of animation.
And tell stories that connected with audiences of all ages and backgrounds.
That's a pretty incredible legacy.
It is.
We've talked a lot about why Shrek was so successful.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, do you think a film like Shrek could be made today? Would it have the same impact on our culture now?
That's a fascinating question.
One that I think is worth exploring.
But first, let's hear from you, our listeners.
Yeah.
We want to know what you think.
How do you think Shrek's legacy continues to shape the world of animation today?
Leave your comments below and let us know.
And that wraps up our deep dive into Shrek's historic Oscar win.
Thanks for joining us,
Don't forget to like and subscribe so you can get our next episode.
where we'll be diving into another unforgettable pop culture moment.
Catch you next time.